Next, we have the in progress work section. Once we have finished an art idea, moved it over to the ready to start column, it'll automatically move over here. That way, you don't have to worry about using one space and then copying the information over to another. This is just an easy way to look at the life cycle of an idea to an art piece without getting bogged down by all the details. So here we continue with the same portrait of Mark. Now that it's ready to start, I can move over and start working on it and diving deeper into it. Here in the studio, in the in progress work section, we only have ready to start, in progress, and done. I know for some of us, we might have different stages of the studio process. So if you ever come to a point where you're missing a stage, maybe it's ready to start, sketched out, it's sketched, it's underpainted, it's, first layer of color, you can always add more features here. So say, if we want to add a sketching phase, you can add it here and then have it in this table. So say, I'm ready to start, and now the portrait of Mark is in a sketching phase. Maybe you start switching mediums, or you want a different name for it. Maybe as you evolve, you're not just working in painting, you could be working in, multimedia. So maybe it says instead of sketching phase, it's the initial construction. So something that kind of fits more closely with kind of your new workflow and your work process. So, make a new tab, move it over here. Say you come to a point where, that's really not something I really need anymore, or I wrote it wrong and I don't want it. You can always come over and simply delete this extra tab. Say, for example, you don't tag something and it disappears. Don't worry. All you have to do is go to the no status element and drag it back to wherever you want it to be. So the first idea here is just to make sure you can see from all the works you're doing, from all that's in my studio, what should I be working on, where are they at, and you can kind of keep track and not get bogged down by the organization or physically checking in on your different pieces of work. Now, it's one thing to see in our studio what works we have in progress, but we also want to make sure that the structure we do can help us grow and evolve and really go deeper with our pieces. So in this case, we started this out as an idea, so we already have the idea section. For some pieces, we might start one right here. We might say, okay, I have a new piece. Say I've already been working on a portrait of, easy names. I'm going to say portrait of Maya. Again, portrait. The nice thing I like about this is it is spelling friendly, so it can definitely help you work around. So say I already have some stuff in my studio, or this is a piece that's already in progress in my studio that, I don't need to make from the beginning idea. I can go down here, write any description I want. I can add a cover photo of the work I've already been working on. So that way I can see what it looks like. And then it can go down and we already have the templates. So say you wanted to skip the idea section, you can just click the In Studio. And here we created a similar journal style section. So a lot of times we're running between different pieces. We're, juggling different, life and work and business elements. And sometimes, we just need a break from a piece of art. So here, if we go back to Portrait of Mark and we go in Studio, we have a database where we can start taking notes. So, one second. So, whenever you want to leave notes, it can be about where you're at. It can be based on the date. So say, initial sketch. Again, very misspelling friendly. And you can go in and just make some notes. So, hey, you can do, here's my initial thoughts. Hey, this sketch is good. There is some distortion on the nose, and the ear is just not coming out right. So you can make notes to yourself. You can put in and drag and drop initial photos, just like we've done other spaces, drag and drop over here. And then you can add comments being like, okay, worked on it on the 3rd, still kind of wonky. Let's look for tutorials. You can add the date from when you're working on. For my example, I'm writing this on December 1st. And then one of the things to remember is that you can always customize these spaces. You can add headers, you can add structures, and if you find out that there are certain templates or structures that you always come back to, like you want a header, you want a description, you want notes, you want links, you can always go in and edit that by editing the template. So if you want to make the initial edit, you can edit the In Studio button, go to the list table, new page, and create a template. So here you can edit the template, and it's inside this specific Kanban card, and you can start editing it around. But if you want to edit all of the Kanban cards, you want to go out, edit the template, and we'll be giving further tutorials of how to customize. But know that as you grow, in general, so can the templates and the structure we use. But for now, we like to just keep it a simple place, like a blank sketchbook page, where you can write down, take notes, and have it all organized without it, taking over your whole piece. And the nice thing we like about this is these questions can both give you a really good idea of when you're writing about your piece, the description, relating it to other bodies of work, because you've answered these questions in the idea phase, and you have notes about the process, which can give you insight about how to overcome other struggles in the future, how different challenges and trends relate in your work, but also the moments of inspiration, the things you really like, the ways that you can share and evolve your work. So the idea here is to create a digital sketchbook page where, even you could say, photo of sketchbook or piece, and you can track your piece. You can say, okay, here's a photo from today, here's where it's at, and you can keep a photo book of your work over these different periods. So that's basically how this first Notion space works. It's a way for you to manage, to keep on track of not just what you're doing, but the little moments in between that help you get to and really push your art forward, both as an artist and preparing yourself for the elements of writing and selling your pieces.